Hi, I'm Jimmy Mistry from Della Group, and on today's segment with Ideal Homes and Gardens, I'll be talking to you about marketing for interior design firms as well as furniture companies. To begin with, I've been fortunate to garner some amount of marketing experience over the years within the varied fields in Della Group. I think I'll be able to add some amount of value to you. I do not believe in the fact that every company's marketing strategy has to be kept as a big secret, because at the end of the day, what works for you may not work for me. What's worked for me hopefully works for you. And I'm happy to share it. If there are any questions or comments after this, do reach out to me or the team. To start off, I think the first and most important thing that somebody needs to understand is your brand representation and your online presence. Everyone has overdone Instagram, I think now, and gone are the days when you send somebody a Facebook request to go and like your page. That being said, it's very important to be represented online, and at the same time, the content you put out there online to be constantly updated. So oftentimes you come across a website or someone's LinkedIn page which does not match what they're currently doing. So I think that's the biggest setback, because you're putting a message out there that you're not relevant, you're not updated, and you're not always on the forefront. To move on with it, I think online presence on the fields that are important and necessary for your business are very essential. So like I mentioned, just because Facebook isn't an option for you, do not neglect something as important as Pinterest. I have seen that a lot of companies don't have a Pinterest profile out there, which is where actually most of the design ideation goes on and inspiration comes through. And I think what's been amazing for us and the efforts that my team has put in, that while we all know our clients, our prospective clients, whether you're a designer, everybody's on Pinterest today looking for that big great idea or that source of inspiration. And to have someone show you a picture completely unknowingly and then say, you know, this is the kind of wardrobe I want, and the excitement to see that the wardrobe reference they've been showing you just happens to be from your own company. So I've had my client do that to me in the past, only to point out and say, hey, look, that's a Della by Jimmy Mistry product. You're seeing it on our profile. So that's the level of excitement and enthusiasm. It gives you an amount of confidence. It gives your client the confidence that you and your client are on the same page. At the same time, that's what you want when you have people searching for something to come across your brand and product. Since Della by Jimmy Mistry is a company that provides both interior solutions as well as interior products, I think that works as a perfect blend for us, because who's a potential client today might turn out to be somebody who actually transacts business with us, even knowing it or unknowingly. The second thing is your brand representation. How do you show your profile out there? It sends a big message to people. So for instance, I absolutely love Jonathan Adler's, who's an American designer, Instagram page. His company profile has witty captions, bright colors, minimalistic contemporary shot photographs. However, that does not work for me as much as I'd like to admire and aspire to be that kind of page. Della by Jimmy Mistry, if you go back and see our Instagram profile, is trying to curate a luxury lifestyle living. So every product, every picture, every caption that we put out there has to communicate that sense. Your Instagram feed sets a mood. I would say don't personally dwell into curating that feed. It's extremely time consuming, and I don't see it giving you great amounts of value. But that being said, how your brand looks at the first glance is very, very important. Make use of your Instagram highlights. Make sure the right stories are out there. What works for me, and maybe a tip for you guys, is to make sure that a brand strategy such as Instagram is not purely left either on an agency or your social media and digital team, or as an entrepreneur if it's something that you're doing on your own. I think set aside one day of the week where you curate the next week or the next 10 days content, so that works for you, leaving you to keep your scope just free for candid Instagram stories that can go up, or unannounced posts that you want to share. So you have some amount of curated content and some amount of organic content going out constantly to your followers. The next thing, I think what is super important, is your SEO presence. Interior designers and architects have gone through 4 and 5 years of rigorous software training and learning. If you've managed to master something like AutoCAD or a render software, I think a basic SEO tool and an online course for you, especially during the lockdown, is extremely essential. I'll be happy to share a couple of links down in the video. Take up an SEO course. It's nothing major, but at least as a startup or someone that cannot currently afford a digital agency, the SEO page becomes extremely important, because it goes on to my next and my fourth step, which is going to be your website which has to be mobile friendly, as well as an e-commerce platform. So your website, again, like any of your social media handles, has to be extremely relevant. It has to be SEO optimized, which I think the tool will be able to guide you better, or an online course on any of the places. E-commerce is the next way moving forward. We need to understand and establish that there are going to be barriers to doing business today after the COVID situation. However, e-commerce becomes your next outing. For companies which are small product manufacturers, as well as new vendors that have come out into the market, you don't think you can invest into your own e-commerce platform to run it, operate it, and sustain it profitably, I would urge you to consider Amazon or a platform such as Flipkart. Amazon is representing a lot of furniture companies and a lot of furniture manufacturers out there. If you think, and this is where the big tip comes in, you have to be price sensitive on a platform such as Amazon. But the advantage is that they're already very heavy on marketing. They have a very good social presence and an online presence. So if you leverage that, it saves you the effort of getting your website out there. So I think that is something everyone can look into as far as they go. As far as a big company goes, like I shared with Della by Jimmy Mistry, we're setting up a 50,000 square foot retail experience showroom. Now I cannot leverage that, but what I can do is the 2,500 SKUs of the products we're putting out, I can represent those on my e-commerce platform, which is what we've been doing all this time, and hopefully should launch soon. So everything under the umbrella, from complete supply solutions for home offices and hotels, whether it's bathware, whether it's tiles, whether it's fabrics, we're trying to do the whole amalgamation along with furniture. So we're really excited about that. And moving forward, I think the other platform that I would want to talk about is LinkedIn. So marketing on LinkedIn is very, very important, because what we need to understand very quickly is Instagram, Facebook, or Pinterest for that matter, has become very peer-to-peer. You are following another designer, and more often than not, designers are following you. It's very rarely that that right client is following what you're doing. So it's very important to tap into a market such as LinkedIn, which is not targeted too heavily. The advantage being is that professionals out there, you tap into someone within a marketing network, someone within an HR network, someone within maybe something completely different with finance or banking, and what you have is a client who has come onto your doorstep through LinkedIn unknowingly. So that is something that's not taken into. I would urge you not to go behind a lot of design companies on LinkedIn, because again, your network becomes extremely skewed and there are a lot of people out there. So LinkedIn is another platform that you can definitely explore. The other part I would come to, especially for small companies, maybe big firms, global firms is one part of it, but predominantly small, first generation entrepreneurial learned companies or partnerships, your brand needs to have a face. At Della, we realized that very soon. And we, after a couple of decades, actually rebranded Della Technica, which was the interior firm, into Della by Jimmy Mistry. The idea and advantage of this being is that everyone resonates your brand with a face. So when you do that, when you put that designer on the forefront, you're putting a message out there that this is who the company is and this is what we stand for. So I think that becomes really important. Similarly, when your PR articles go out, whether it's a partnership firm or an organization or a second or third generation company, having a face to a brand oftentimes really helps, because there's an instant brand recall as well as participation. So I think these are a couple of my tips that I've put in there for you guys. I hope you find some benefit out of it. I would love to share more. I would love to hear back from you what's worked and what hasn't, and we can take it from there. Thank you.